All right, welcome to today's episode of Cricut Magic. And today I just wanted to go over a little bit more in depth on everything that there is to know about understanding the physical machine in person. So let's just get started right now. I know I showed you this last time, but this is how you open up your machine, and you'll see as this rises right here, this should come straight down. And so we're just going to start kind of up here at the top. And so what you're going to see right here, this is a nice deep little groove. And this is great for putting computers, tablets, mainly tablets, or your phone up here so that when you're cutting, it's just not disturbing your workspace down here at all. Over here off on this side, we have a little storage compartment, and this can be really great for storing any kind of tools that you might have. So for example, this pen that came in with the rest of our materials, you can store that right there if you would like, and it can hold all like the little weeding tools and all that stuff that you'll get throughout your Cricut making journey. Now, if we come over here, I know I've said it before, but this is the power button, and as you saw in the last video, it does light up blue when you connect to whatever device it is that you're using in Bluetooth. Then down here we have the load and unload button, and this is what you use right here for loading in and taking out your materials that you're going to be cutting on your machine. Next we have the go button, and this is different from a lot of different machines from the past because this used to be a little Cricut symbol. Now it is just a play button. And I mean, it's good for simplicity's sake. And whenever you are about to press go, this will be flashing to let you know that it's ready. This is the pause button. And so the pause button, hopefully you're not going to have to use it a whole lot throughout your Cricut journey. However, it is good to know where it's at in case you need to pause in the middle of a cut or a drawing because something is going wrong or you need to check something. I've used it mainly in terms of when something has gone wrong with my cuts, so just be aware of that. It is a good way to stop whatever is happening on your machine if something is going wrong. All right, now we're going to move downward here, and as you can see, this has the guides for your mats or smart materials to make it easier to load into your machine. And if you flip this up right here, you're going to find a lot of places for storage. And you can put lots of different things. You could take this pen and you can actually store it down here. You could put different blade housings in here. Replacement blades can go in here. It's just a great little storage area to keep everything together and in one place, and to hopefully not clutter up your workspace so much. Now, if you might have seen, I actually keep a lot of my stuff over here at the side of my desk, all of my little weeding tools and stuff like that, but this is another great area for you to use for storage purposes just in case. All right, so now let's really get into the machine right here itself. So I told you last time there's compartments A and compartments B. Compartment A, if you open it up, it makes it easy for this to just kind of wiggle around, and it makes it very easy to load pens into it. And so let me show you what that looks like. So I just have this Cricut pen that came with the rest of our supplies in the box when we unboxed last episode. So I'm just going to pull it out of that paper bag, well, plastic bag, and we're just going to uncap it like so. And if you want, you can just hold on to this and you'll see that the pen slides right in, and you're going to press down on it until you hear it click into place. And if you were to draw, you would just close this back up, and that is all ready to go drawing from your Cricut Design Space images. For now though, I'm just going to bring this back up and out. We're going to recap the pen, and we're just going to close that compartment. Now, compartment B is really where all of the magic is going to be happening. And so in compartment B, this is where, I know I've said it before, but this is the blade housing. So you just open up this little lever right here, and out pops the blade housing. And definitely be very cautious with this because it does have the tiny blade at the bottom. And give me just a second and I will focus on it. There we go. And so if I bring it up close, you can see there is the little point of the blade poking out, and that is what gives you all of those nice clean cuts. And you'd actually be surprised at how small this really truly is. And so you're going to see up here, there's this little kind of knob plunger thing. And so if you press on it, you're going to see that this blade extends out right here. So you can see pressing down, it extends outward. If I release pressure, it comes back in. And this is good to know for if you ever need to change out the blade. You can just press it, hold on tightly to this, and be as gentle as possible, and it will pull out. It doesn't want to play nice with me. There you go. And so as you can see, this is a premium blade because of the gold on the end of it. So this blade is actually going to last us a very, very, very long time and go through a lot of projects before it dulls down, which is great for us to know in the future. But if you ever want to replace it, you would just take whichever one is your new blade and you would insert it right back into here, and it is magnetic. So it's just going to snap back in there. And then you can just take the blade housing. You're going to just insert it back in. You come around here. You can see just how much it fits very, very nicely into the housing. And then you can just flip this closed like so. All right, and so that's really everything that you need to know about the physical machine. Now let's talk about some basic supplies that you might need when you are going to be using your Cricut Maker 4. Now, to be honest, you're not going to need a whole lot because Cricut already gave you a lot of the supplies that you need. I do recommend that you have some kind of a weeder tool, which it was very nice that this Cricut Maker 4 came with one already for it. So just want to keep that on handy. This is going to be good for weeding out any little parts of projects that you don't want to keep. And so I'm just going to store this right in here for now. The second thing that you're going to need that already came with your machine is going to be this light grip mat. And you can see that it is blue in color. And this is going to be great for working with paper, cardstock, vinyl, mainly anything that you know doesn't need too strong of a grip, but just enough to keep things attached. Now, the next thing that I recommend you having nearby is, of course, a pair of scissors. And it doesn't really matter how big of a pair. I recommend you have maybe a smaller pair kind of like this, and then a larger pair as well. And that would look something like this, just so that when you are working with paper or with vinyl, you can easily cut out the parts that you're using and you can save the rest for another project. Another tool that you recommend having, or something of some kind like it, is going to be this kind of roller tool. There are also different kinds like it. There are tons of little, I don't know, I call it a squeegee. I'm not sure if it's a scraper, a squeegee. This is an old version, a very old version, but just something that will help you to flatten materials down onto the light grip mat to keep it from getting bubbles and to make sure that it's really sticking down. From there, it really just kind of depends on what you're going to be making. So for the projects that we're going to start out with here in the future, and as we go through design space and we start learning all of the basics behind it, you might want to start to have some form of attacher nearby. So something like tape or glue, or something like double-sided tape, glue dots, just anything that's going to be attaching one surface onto another, just so that when we reach those first projects, you are already prepared and you kind of have it around your workspace area. All right, that is kind of everything that you need to know about the Cricut and the Cricut Maker. Just kind of getting set up, knowing the entirety of the physical machine and kind of some basic supplies. Definitely make sure that you have paper and cardstock of any color or kind just for projects. I know that when we opened up the box, there were some pieces of vinyl and smart iron-on vinyl and all that stuff. We're not going to be working with vinyl yet, at least not here, because I really want to show you how Design Space works more than anything, just starting off. But what's nice is that as we go through Design Space, the nice part is that you can always take the skills that we're going to learn through there, and you can take those and you can apply it to the different forms of material that you want to use, such as vinyl or the heat transfer vinyl and all that stuff. We will eventually go over that, but for now, I'm just going to be sticking with paper as I show you the basics of Design Space in the next episode. So thank you for coming along with me, and I will see you in the next episode.